Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got our daily NBA predictions here for Saturday, January 18th. We've got 6 games today in the National Basketball Association, headlined by a big one in Minnesota between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. We've got that and more today in the National Basketball Association. Folks, if you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today, a couple hours ago, actually 3 hours ago, we posted our 10 best bets for college basketball here today. Normally we do 5, but today we did 10, so make sure to check that video out. Link is in the description down below. Also, make sure to check out our NFL predictions. Obviously, today a big day in the NFL. Chiefs, Texans, Commanders, Lions. We predicted those games and the other 2 on Sunday as well with our NFL weekly predictions. Make sure to check out that video in the description down below. Also, we have our UFC 311 predictions. Now, the main event is no longer Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan. It is Islam Makhachev and Renato Moicano. So, again, the 13 other predictions are linked down below in the description. We don't have a prediction for Makhachev and Moicano, so let me give it to you right now. I'll give you the quick rundown. I think Islam Makhachev beats Renato Moicano by first round TKO. I just think so. I think Islam out-wrestles him, and I think, again, it's very similar to the Bobby Green fight with Islam Makhachev. Trust me, I want Moicano to win. I just don't think it's going to happen. So give me Makhachev by first round TKO. He'll smash him, brother. And folks, if you haven't yet, though, again, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Let's now get into the first of our 6 NBA predictions for today. And we start off in Detroit, Michigan for the Phoenix Suns and the Detroit Pistons. A game that got moved up, actually. It was originally supposed to be a night game, but I guess Devin Booker and Kevin Durant can kind of take credit because D-Book's a Lions fan and, you know, Durant's a Commanders fan. But no, it's just, you know, the city of Detroit has one of their biggest events ever going on this week, with a chance to host the NFC Championship game next week, and they don't want the Pistons going on at the same exact time, so that's why the Pistons and the Suns are here at 1 p.m. I like the Pistons at home. I do. The Suns are actually favored to win this basketball game, which really surprises me. It just does. No Bradley Beal tonight. Jusuf Nurkic has been ruled out with an illness. Jusuf Nurkic is the 4th string center on this basketball team, and who knows if anybody actually wants to trade for the guy. Legitimately. Who knows if Jusuf Nurkic is going to get a job in this league? I just don't know. Or is he just a bench guy now in Phoenix? I really don't know. But guys, the Suns were competitive in their last game with the Washington Wizards. Yeah, those Washington Wizards. It was a competitive basketball game. Sure, they win it by 7. They don't cover, and they were close in Washington. Now they got to go to Detroit, continuing this road trip, and ultimately, yeah, I do like the Pistons in this spot. Sure, Detroit's coming off that game where they lost the Indiana Pacers. I guess there's a rivalry now brewing between Detroit and Indiana. I guess that's a thing now. We'll see. I feel like it would be kind of a one-sided rivalry because it's just the Pacers are better, but you know, Detroit's a good team this year. They are. You know, are the bad boys back? I don't know, but Detroit's 21-20 on the season. They look like they're going to be a postseason team. And again, they are very solid. Detroit is a solid team this year. Cade Cunningham, obviously. Tim Hardaway's been really good this year. Jalen Duren, obviously, really good as well at the center position. I think the Pistons beat Phoenix. I'm very surprised at the odds for this line. It's not like, again, the Pistons are missing a key player, at least that's been playing recently, obviously, with Jaden Ivey being out for an extended period of time. But yeah, honestly, when I just looked at this line, I was very confused. I don't know why Detroit's an underdog at home. It's like the Suns are all that impressive. They're not. Again, without Bradley Beal, I know it doesn't make the most difference, but Beal has been somewhat solid off the bench this year, at least, again, once he has gone to the bench for Phoenix. So I like Detroit in this spot. Give me the Pistons at home. We get, what, plus 100 for Detroit, plus 1.5. Take either one that you want. I like the Pistons to get things done here at home against the Phoenix Suns as underdogs. Let's go on to our next game as we go to the Garden, the Boston Garden between the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks have an injury problem right now, and that's why the line's 11.5 points, but I'll take Atlanta plus 11.5. I'm not going to tell you that they're going to outright beat the Boston Celtics in Boston with the injuries that they have, but honestly, I think it's possible. I do think it is. I'm not going to straight up tell you and make the official prediction plus 390, the Atlanta Hawks going on the road to beat Boston. I do think there's a chance it happens with this being a second half of a back-to-back for the Celtics. The Hawks, obviously, coming off that victory against the Bulls on Wednesday. I do think there's potential for a Hawks victory. I think if the Hawks were at full strength, I think they win this game. They are without a lot of their key pieces, right? They've got no DeAndre Hunter. No, DeAndre Hunter's playing this game. He's ruled out, but then the injury report says he's probable. Okay, no, DeAndre Hunter's playing. No Jalen Johnson likely still. He's still questionable with the shoulder injury. I don't think Jalen Johnson's going to be playing. Trae Young's probable. We're good there. Zachary Risichet, who was the number 1 overall pick, is out with a thigh injury. Honestly, Atlanta's got a chance to win this game. I'm not going to lie. I think Atlanta has a legitimate chance to beat the Celtics. I'm not going to say they're going to. I definitely think they cover 11.5 points. Just because, again, Atlanta's such a hard team to blow out because they have to just go completely ice cold for you to blow them out because they're so high scoring. Trae Young's that good. Onyeka continues to get better as a starting center for this Hawks team. They're just a tough team. He's still coming off the bench, isn't he? But regardless, it's tough to blow Atlanta out. It really is. And they got a big night in their last game in that win over the Hawks from, it was Keaton Wallace. Yeah, Keaton Wallace, the first-year man at a UTSA, comes up, plays lights out, comes up from the G League, drops 27 points in 38 minutes. Yeah, my goodness. I'd sure hope he stays with Atlanta now and doesn't have to go back down to the G League. Again, I think Atlanta covers this line fairly easily. Boston's coming off the second half of a back-to-back. Sure, they beat Orlando yesterday, but they're coming off, again, a game 2 games ago where they lost in Toronto. They're still 3-3 in their last 6 losses to the Thunder, Kings, and Raptors. And sure, again, they beat the Magic, Pelicans, and Nuggets, but I don't know. It's not like they've been playing lights out. I think definitely Atlanta covers 11.5. Do you think they win? I think there's a possibility for it. I should have said they're going to... No, Atlanta's going to win. I'm going to go with Atlanta the victory. You can excuse the minus 600 on the graphic here. No, give me Atlanta to go on the road. I'm serious. Give me Atlanta to go on the road and beat the Celtics. They're high scoring. They're hard to beat. Atlanta has beat Boston in the Garden before this year. Who's to say they're not going to do it again? Trae Young, top 15 player in the game. Give me the Hawks and Trae Young to walk into Boston and beat the Boston Celtics. Let's go on to Indianapolis, Indiana, for the Indiana Pacers hosting the Philadelphia 76ers. Hey, what can I say? What can I say about the Indiana Pacers? We have been waiting for them to break out all year long, and it has finally happened. The Pacers are back. They're 23-19 now. We've been riding with them the entire way this season, and now it's finally paying off. And now it's going to pay off because they get Philadelphia at home. And Joel Embiid still is not playing basketball. He is out for the next 7 to 10 days because he's not going to be reevaluated in another 7 to 10 games due to swelling in his left knee. He's not even making the trip on the road for this long road trip. So Joel's out. Andre Drummond's questionable. Paul George is questionable. Gershon Yabusele is questionable. Caleb Martin's out. And Kyle Lowry's out. Again, additionally, the guy who's going to win the Rookie of the Year this year out of Duke, Jared McCain, is out for the season. So Tyrese Maxey, what can you do, right? There was a game earlier in the year. It was in October. Philadelphia, I believe it was on a Sunday. It was. Philadelphia goes into Indiana and they beat them in overtime. Tyrese Maxey, in a similar spot to this, no Paul George, no Joel Embiid, goes out there and scores 45 points and beats the Pacers in overtime. But the thing is, the Pacers aren't playing like they did in October. In 2025, they've been a different basketball team. I remember, again, we got Indiana, I believe, at plus money earlier in the year. It was a game where Jared McCain and Joel Embiid got injured December 13th. But Indiana went to Philadelphia and beat them in their second matchup this season. So now it's game 3 with the Pacers and the Sixers. And the Pacers are obviously in a much better spot. Philadelphia has lost 5 of their last 6 games, with the only victory being the Washington Wizards. And if you want to go back one further, their other victory is the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, in 2025, the Philadelphia 76ers are 2-7, with their only wins being the Nets and Wizards. And now the Nets were very competitive last night against the Los Angeles Lakers. I told you D'Lo was going to have a big night, but it is what it is. The Lakers won, obviously. But yes, the Nets and the Wizards are obviously the worst teams in the NBA. 2 of the worst teams. Again, it depends. But those are the only wins for the Sixers this year. It's all they've got. And yes, Maxey is carrying the load every single night, but there's only so much he can do. The Pacers are the all-around much better basketball team. Tyrese Halliburton is back. Andrew Nembhard has been playing great basketball this season. Bennedict Mathurin, obviously, is off the suspension now. They get a guy in Aaron Nesmith back on the bench, adding to this really good bench depth for this Pacers team. And their bench units, TJ McConnell, Ben Shepherd, Aaron Nesmith, Obi Toppin, and Thomas Bryant. That's great. Jarris Walker as well. I mean, they are deep on this Pacers bench, and the starting lineup's great as well. Guys, Indiana is going to finish the top 4 seed in the East this year. They're going to. It's just a matter of where they are. Because Indiana, they've gotten healthy. Tyrese Halliburton's taking more shots. The Pacers just look better now. And Indiana, again, will finish in the top 4 in the Eastern Conference in the regular season. And they're going to be in the Final 4 in the East as well. They're going to win a playoff series. And they're going to give these teams problems. Trust me, Indiana's been there before, and they're going to continue to play well in the postseason. And I think they beat Philadelphia in this game as well, and I think they cover. So give me Indiana to win against this injured Sixers team without Joel Embiid, obviously without Jared McCain still. Minus 8.5, give me Indiana at home against the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's move on to Golden State, to San Francisco, California, for the Washington Wizards and the Golden State Warriors. Jordan Poole is back in the Bay, but the Wizards are 6-33. They're on their They're on their California trip now. They play all 4 California teams from here today on Saturday all the way till Thursday. They have the Warriors tonight. They've got the Kings tomorrow, Lakers on Tuesday, Clippers on Thursday. Odds on they don't win a damn game in that stretch. This team has won 1 game in 2025, and it was on New Year's Day against the Chicago Bulls. Just, no. The Wizards aren't that great at basketball. I'm sorry, they're just not. Okay, now they got to go on the road to try to beat Golden State. They're not going to. The Warriors aren't very good, sure, but they're damn better than the Wizards. They are, and you know it, I know it, the American people know it, right? Again, the Warriors are not that impressive, but they're much better than Washington. Golden State's coming off that victory against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've been, the model of just mid so far this year. They started off great, but obviously they just haven't been good, recently. But they're 20-20 now. Kuminga's still out, but Draymond Green's playing this game. He's probable with an illness. Great. Wizards don't play defense. They can kind of score, but they don't play defense. So if the Warriors can just hit their open shots like it's early in the year with Curry, with Buddy Hield off the bench, with Wiggins, they'll be fine. I see no world where the Golden State Warriors don't win this basketball game. At home, I do think they cover the 13.5. This is a game that the Warriors need just absolutely blow a team out. Similar to their win over Philadelphia earlier in the year, January 2nd, the Warriors beat them 139-105. Yeah, I think they need a game like that. I think they're going to get a game like that. So even the Warriors just put belt to ass here against the Washington Wizards. I wouldn't trust the Wizards with literally anything. Curry's been playing very good basketball. He had a big game the other night on ESPN against the Timberwolves. Obviously, that huge go-ahead 3 at the end of the game to ultimately propel the Warriors to victory. I expect the Warriors to take care of business here against the Wizards, and I think they can cover this line as well. I think this is a National Blowout Association type game, so give me the Warriors at home to win and cover against Jordan Poole and the Washington Wizards. Let's move on to our next game, arguably the game of the day, I'd say it is. The Minnesota Timberwolves at home host the Cleveland Cavaliers. Give me Cleveland. Minnesota just played yesterday. Won a game that I didn't think they were going to win, in all fairness. They went to New York, they went to Madison Square Garden, and got their get back against Karl-Anthony Towns and the New York Knicks. They did. Ant dropped 36-13-7. What a stat line. What a game for Minnesota. They played a Knicks team that had to deal with the Josh Hart injury during the game, and it is what it is. Minnesota picks up the victory. Not mad at it. It is what it is. It happens. They got to play second half of a back-to-back, though, against the Cavs. Ooh, that's pretty brutal. A Cavaliers team that is coming off that loss to the Thunder the other night. It is what it is. OKC's just that good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is just that good. Cleveland's dealing with a couple injuries. I'd expect both Evan Mobley and Isaac Okoro to play this game. Mobley questionable and Okoro questionable as well. Again, I think both these guys will give it a go against Minnesota. They've had a day off. They should be fine. They should play this game. Everything just kind of points to a Cavaliers victory. Again, Minnesota just had to play yesterday, and they won a hard-fought battle against the Knicks. Good for them. Again, the Knicks, incredibly beatable. They're one of these teams, again, I say, with New York, they can beat anyone on any given night, but they can also lose to anybody on any given night. And again, Minnesota goes into the Garden, and they win that basketball game. Cleveland, though, they're just too high scoring for Minnesota. They just are. I don't think, again, Minnesota's offensive production, for the most part, guys, is Anthony Edwards, then Dante DiVincenzo shooting some threes, and then it's Naz Reid coming off the bench. That's where this Timberwolves team, it feels like it's most of their points. Oh, I completely forgot about Julius Randle. I'm sorry, Julius. Julius Randle, too. He's number 2. Then DiVincenzo, then Naz Reid. It just doesn't feel like they have that many options to score. Again, without Karl-Anthony Towns in the lineup. Yeah, Jaden McDaniels as well, but I don't know. We'll see if DiVincenzo plays this game. He did not play the game against the Knicks. They won without him. We will see if, Dante's going to play this game here against the Cavaliers, but regardless, I do like Cleveland in the spot. Again, I just don't think Minnesota is able to keep up with Cleveland. Cleveland's getting 6.5 on the road. That's fine. Again, I'd expect, a big bounce back performance here for the Cavs coming off that loss the other night to the OKC Thunder. Again, Cleveland's a 34-6 basketball team for a reason. Everyone on this lineup can shoot. Garland, sometimes. Donovan Mitchell, Okoro, Strus, Niang, Wade, whoever starts at the 3. Mobley and Allen get it done underneath, but yes, Mobley can launch it as well. LeVert. I mean, everyone on this team can shoot the basketball, and everybody's a problem. You can't leave anybody open. But the thing is, again, Cleveland with their ball movement, they're going to work the ball around the perimeter, and they're going to find an open shot for somebody. That's why they're so tough to beat. Again, once they play the elite teams like Boston, like OKC, hell, I'll say in the postseason when they play a team like Indiana or Milwaukee and even Orlando in a 7-game series, I think they're going to have trouble. Do I think they win some of those series? Sure. I don't know. Against Indiana and Milwaukee, we'll see. Again, I think they're going to have trouble against Boston, Indiana, and Milwaukee in the playoffs, and potentially again Orlando. Hell, I could see a team like Atlanta giving them problems as well. Again, not to say I'm not going to pick the Cavs in a 7-game series, but I think, again, they will go 7-6 against some of these squads. Again, I don't anticipate Cleveland to go into the postseason with, less than 12 losses, but we'll see. If they do, if they somehow win 70 games, if they're not winning 70 games, then, I'll give them credit. But in this spot, yes, I will take Cleveland to go on the road to Minnesota, win the game, and cover the 6.5 points. It's accumulation of, how both these teams play, especially how the Cavaliers play, and because, again, Minnesota is coming off the second half of a back-to-back. They return home after, again, just playing yesterday in New York against the Knicks. So give me Cleveland minus 6.5 in the best game of the day. Next up, we go to Portland, Oregon for our final game of the night in the Rose Garden at the Moda Center. The Portland Trail Blazers host the Houston Rockets. Give me the Houston Rockets. I said it yesterday. Again, I know the Rockets didn't play yesterday, but we mentioned it very briefly. I was not mad at the Rockets' loss against the Kings. Again, W character progression out of me, right? Awesome. Development. I'm going to officially say it now. The Rockets are good. Does that mean they're going to go and win in the postseason? No, it's not. That's not what that means. I would not pick the Rockets to beat a lot of teams in a 7-game series in the West. Still, I wouldn't. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not picking them over OKC. I might pick them against Memphis. I would right now. I'm not picking them over Denver. I'd probably pick them over the Clippers. I'm not picking them over the Lakers. So, hey, if I had to power rank these teams come the postseason, OKC, Denver, Los Angeles, Houston. I'm giving a lot of credit to the Rockets right now. I know they're the second best team in the West right now, but when I'm saying odds to win an NBA or win a Western Conference championship to go to the finals, I'm putting the Rockets at the 4th best odds right now, which is big time because 3 weeks ago I said they were 10th, 11th. So again, Jalen Green, if he can continue to play this consistent basketball and continue to shoot the ball lights out like he has the last 8 games, the guy's a star. I've been a Jalen Green hater, I have, but guys, if Jalen Green can continue this production that he's been putting on since the calendar turned to 2025, and on top of that, Alfie Sengun continues to be the player that he is, held the nickname Baby Jokic, guys, the Rockets are a problem. They play really good defense. Now, Sacramento scored the most points on Houston than anybody scored against Houston all year long. Sacramento put up 132 points, but it just felt like a night again in Sacramento where the Kings had one of their hot shooting nights, and it was hard to stop them. But Jalen Green's been that good recently. Alfred Sengun is that good, and you got to give a lot of credit to Amen Thompson, too, who's a really good starter and has excelled in the starting role with the Jabari Smith injury. I really like those 3 guys. I think, again, that's the future, obviously, of Houston basketball. And the Rockets are a problem. I'll say it. They are a problem. They're a good team. And again, it finally took for them to lose a game, honestly, for me to understand how good the Rockets are. But I was really impressed. It's the most impressive about the Rockets all year long because it does show consistency out of Jalen Green. Second half of a back-to-back, and Jalen Green's still scoring 30 points. Got to give the man credit. Hit some big threes at the end of that basketball game to keep Houston close. For Portland, Portland. 13-27 basketball team this year. I think Jeremy Grant's still out with injury, if I'm not mistaken. He's been upgraded to questionable with his face injury, which is good for this team because Denny Adjiva coming off the bench is questionable, so that means they have to start Chris Murray Robert Williams because Donovan Klingen's still out. But Portland's just been bad. 4 straight losses. Dallas, Miami, Brooklyn, Los Angeles. Brooklyn and Los Angeles and Miami actually all went into the Moda Center and beat them, so I expect the Rockets to go in there and beat them as well. Again, if the Clippers are beating them by 30 points, the Rockets should be able to beat them by double digits and cover. Brooklyn beat them by 18. Miami beat them by 20. Portland, again, they go through their phases where sometimes they'll win back-to-back, they'll look hot, they'll beat a good team, and you look, oh, the young guys, Anthony Simons, Scoot, Shaden Sharp, their guards really perform, and then they have nights where it's just like, all right, The one bright spot, though, Scoot Henderson, 39 points against the Brooklyn Nets. That's great. It's not good enough to win games, though. Give me the Houston Rockets on the road, minus 10.5, and they'll win the game outright as well in Portland against the Trailblazers. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA predictions here on January 18th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks, folks. Thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.